Now at 6 a.m. on WKYT this morning, a southern Kentucky community is heartbroken after a 10-year-old is hit and killed by a school bus.
Details on the car Lexington police are looking for after an overnight gas station robbery.
And Fayette County schools announce a plan for making up missed snow days.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Top of the morning to you from the WKYT News team, and welcome in. A lot going on this morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. We've been enjoying some really nice temperatures.
It's been good the last few days. A little chilly yesterday, but let's check in with Micah for some changes that are to come as we head into midweek.
Yeah, big changes. We're going to look for temperatures to get towards 70 degrees, and then it drops right back down to the 40s and 50s. A big blast of colder air. But right now, there's not really much going on Defender. We're staying dry outside, clouds overhead with 30s and 40s to walk out in. Now, you'll look for your temperatures to be in the 50s across central zones. Much of our region will be in the 50s, but northbound, just like yesterday, in the 40s. Southbound, just like yesterday, in the 60s, maybe even squeezing out a 70-degree reading. So there's a big temperature gradient across the region. Just know this, northern zones, you'll have the colder air. Southern zones, you'll have the warmer air. Big rise in temperatures, though, for tomorrow for everybody. Finally, that warm front scoots north of us, and you'll see us in the 60s and 70s for all, and then that big fall as we head off into Thursday. Those numbers drop really low, and maybe even the 20s outside with a few flakes. Yeah, I'll show you that nasty forecast coming up.
Micah, thank you. We'll see you in just a little bit. And leading our news this morning, a tragic story that we have been tracking since yesterday afternoon. A Whitley County 10-year-old boy was killed after being hit by his school bus.
And new this morning, state police have identified that little boy. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk with new information on this really hard to report story for you, I'm sure, Mark.
It absolutely is, Rebecca, and state police are saying that 10-year-old boy is Jonathan Chatham. We've learned from a GoFundMe webpage that is raising money for the family that Jonathan had been treated for leukemia and was in remission. The terrible tragedy happened around 3:45 yesterday afternoon outside the boys' home on Highway 779 in Whitley County. The sheriff says just like he did every day, Jonathan got off at the bus stop and cleared the bus. But that's when investigators say something went terribly wrong. We're told Jonathan went into a ditch line and then came back up on the road, ending up under the wheels of the bus. According to the sheriff, one or both of the boys' parents saw the bus hit him. State troopers say they are still investigating, but we're told it appears like it was quite possibly just an accident.
Obviously, it's a horrible tragedy, and we certainly, our hearts and prayers goes out to each and every person that's involved or this incident may have touched. Just a horrible tragedy here today in Whitley County.
The school district has canceled school for the day, and the football team has canceled their spring practice as this small, tight-knit school district mourns the death of the 10-year-old who is described as having a heart of gold. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Well, new this morning, human remains have been found in Clay County. The sheriff says a skull was found off Ephraim Creek Road. Firefighters found the skull while fighting a fire. There are no active missing persons cases associated with this at this point.
New this morning, police are investigating a robbery at a Lexington gas station. It happened around 2:30 this morning at the Circle K on Pimlico Parkway. Police say two men wearing hoodies and masks implied that they had a weapon when they stole cash and cigarettes. The men were seen leaving in a silver Neon. Well, the school day is about to get longer for Fayette County students.
Yeah, some of them might be not too thrilled with that. At least it doesn't go into summer too much,
Right.
though. The school board has approved extending the school day as a way to make up for those missed snow days. WKYT's Sean Moody is live in Lexington to break down the impact on students and parents.
Well, good morning, Rebecca and Bill. After students missed 7 days due to snow this year, they'll only go 2 days past their original date, but there will be some schedule changes between now and then. The last day of school here in Fayette County was originally May 27th. Now it'll be May 29th. Now they will be spending a little extra time in the classroom starting next month. Beginning April 20th, school days will be 30 minutes longer. They'll also be in class on some days they were originally going to be off. State law requires the schools to have 170 teaching days every school year. Now, besides those snow days, schools also missed 6 hours because of 2-hour delays. Fayette County schools set the potential makeup days before the school year begins. This year, those makeup days will be March 20th, April 10th, and of course, those last 2 days, May 28th and May 29th. Now, the school board also announced graduation dates for the year. Lafayette and Tates Creek High Schools will have their graduations at Rupp Arena on May 29th. Bryan Station, Henry Clay, and Dunbar seniors will graduate on May 30th. Live in Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Well, several other school systems have also approved their last day of classes. It's May 27th for Jessamine County students. While they missed several days of school thanks to the snowstorm, students still did school work at home as part of a pilot program. They used all 10 non-traditional learning days allowed by the state. Madison County will get out June 1st. The last days for Bourbon County students, June 3rd. Woodford County's last day is June 5th.
A dog is recovering from injuries that investigators think may be the result of dog fighting. The Garrett County Animal Shelter says a couple found the dog on Highway 52. The couple says a veterinarian told them that the dog's injuries were not caused by any accident. The animal shelter has named the dog Warrior. Workers say they have been contacted by someone claiming to be his owner, who said that he got loose and was attacked before he was found. A man is fighting for his life this morning after being badly burned in a Lexington house fire. Investigators say the man lived at the home on Woodbine Drive off Clays Mill Road with his father. Police say a drug lab was found in the home. It is not clear if that's how the fire started. Firefighters, police, even a dog living at the home had to be decontaminated. A Central Kentucky couple is accused of being high on drugs with their 19-month-old son. Berea police have charged Michael LeCompte and Amy Hagan with public intoxication and endangering the welfare of a minor. Police say they found LeCompte passing in and out of consciousness in a car outside a Dollar General store. They say the child was in the back seat and Hagan was inside the store. Police say the child is now in social services protection.
A man was flown to the hospital after getting trapped under his car in a crash. This happened along Harvest Ridge Road near Campton in Wolfe County. State police say Peyton Baker lost control of his car in a curve, causing it to flip. They say he was partially pinned under the car after the crash. He was airlifted to UK Hospital. We do not know how he is doing this morning. Well, the newest member of the Kentucky Supreme Court has been sworn in as a justice. Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear appointed Justice David Barber to serve the 7th Supreme Court District. Barber replaces Will T. Scott, who resigned to run for governor. Well, Eastern Kentucky is no stranger to the national spotlight, and not always necessarily for the best reasons.
But this week, that changes. National Public Radio is in Hazard, showcasing musicians for their program From the Top. Students from Johnson Central, Knott Central, and Letcher Central are playing alongside NPR's traveling musicians. The Top's education director says not only do the students get to perform in front of a large crowd, they also get to share their stories.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
Looking at Frankfort this morning there in the capital city, not much going on. I don't see any fog and no rain outside, so things are good to go. Now, we do have a little rain later on this afternoon. It's not much, and it really won't affect any of our plans, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But nonetheless, we're staying dry for the most part, and look at these temperatures sitting there in the 30s and 40s. Now, as we go through time, don't expect much out of this in toward the afternoon. The afternoon will be much like what you saw yesterday, with those temperatures sitting there in the 40s northbound and also sitting there in the 60s and possibly even the 70-degree reading southbound. Look at Bell County now starting to show those yellows and also greens. That means one thing, some warmer air is nudging in the region. Watch this zone by zone. Small chance of rain for today across the Bluegrass region. We'll be in the 50s for all in the Bluegrass area. Down south, sitting there in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. There's a front that just won't move that much. And that front below that is actually some really warm air. And it felt fantastic yesterday. It's going to do it all again today, too. And over toward the east-southeast, same story. It's kind of a different location. Only very slight chance of rain, 20%, 30%. Up toward the northern zones, I think this is the better likelihood of actually seeing some rain. 30, 40% is still not much whatsoever. And you're sitting there in the 40s. You saw that. 47 in Covington. 67, 68 down towards, say, Williamsburg and back toward the Cumberland region. Let's talk about your midweek. Let's talk about tomorrow and off toward Thursday. Wednesday is going to be your best feeling day in the forecast. It'll feel phenomenal. Sitting there, very warm temperatures, upper 60s, lower 70s. And then here comes a cold front, back toward the west. Watch this. Slowly but surely gliding into the region. Look at your timestamp. That's 4 p.m. and it's already overtaking the area. Not only are we looking for temperatures to drop big time, 45 to 55 degrees in toward the afternoon, but also widespread rain, maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. And if we do get thunder, this will be our first stormy system of the year. That's pretty remarkable. We've been a long time, over 100 days since we've heard some thunder. Well, I say thunder. Thunderstorms, I should say, not the thunder snow, but luckily we're not talking about that anymore. Few flakes there in the forecast, though. It's the possibility of them at least. Few flakes, few flurries there on Friday and off toward early portion there on Saturday. But still not much going on in terms of, you're not going to get any accumulation out of that. It's just really all about that Wednesday, Thursday time frame. Boy, we take a hit with those temperatures from 70 degrees. And we'll just absolutely love it. We'll eat it up, and then here comes 55 there on Thursday.
Can't get used to anything
no,
right
you can't.
now, right?
Not right now. And that's how it usually is. It'll start to kind of level out as we make our way through the next couple
could
weeks.
get used to that 70, though.
I'm with you on that.
Bring on more of those.
I like it.
6:10 our time, and each morning we bring you weather and traffic together, and here's Officer Don with a look at what's happening out there on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Hey, good morning, Bill. Overall pictures is looking good. On the inner and outer loops of the circle right now, there are no major delays, even through the construction zone as they're getting set to work on the inner and outer loops between Leestown Road and Versailles Road. And they're getting busy inbound Versailles Road, too, approaching the circle. As we get a live look outside, looking at Nicholasville and Reynolds, there are no problems to report. So far on our Waze map, we're not seeing any trouble on Nicholasville Road past Man of War. Harrodsburg Road looks good, and so does Richmond Road. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much. Good to have everybody along. 6:11 is our time on your Tuesday morning. A lot more WKYT news on the way.
Well, we have some details on a shooting near Tennessee University. It seriously injured several people.
And also find out why Kentucky is a better place to retire than Hawaii.